What's up? I am back in Denver, back in my healing space. It feels so good to be here. And I have something really special for you today. I am going to be talking to you about why karma is not a bitch. So today I'm going to share with you what karma really is, why we choose it. Hint, it's because you're a badass spiritual being. And finally, how to use it to our advantage to heal karmic trauma and energetic wounding that we have buried deep in our energy systems that is actually calling to us these circumstances in our lives that reinforce the wounding. And again, why that's good, why that's a really good thing. But above all, I'm going to give you my very special karmic integration process. It's a 10-step process that allows you to completely heal and integrate this trauma and wounding once and for all. So yes, so you no longer are calling to you these circumstances that are confirming the pain subconscious that you have inside. So with that, let's dive right in. This is such an important time to talk about this process because we've got this solar eclipse tomorrow. And it's the end of eclipse season, thank goodness. You've likely been feeling edgy, crunchy, like lots of stuff has been coming up. It's all good. It is for you. This is exactly the karmic wounding that I'm talking about. And using this process underneath the portal of this solar eclipse is going to give you so much power. So first, let's talk about what karma is. So karma is developed in past lives based on wounding. So for example, let's just say in a past life, you were in a marriage and your husband cheated on you and left you for a younger woman and stole your children from you and left you broke and penniless and alone, okay? In that lifetime, you developed some sort of karmic wounding or energetic feeling that had you believe something about the world. Now, what happens is, as spiritual beings, we use these lifetimes to grow spiritually and ascend and learn spiritual lessons. So when that happened in that lifetime, a blockage got stuck somewhere in your energy body. This is a felt sense, okay? So this is an actual energy blockage somewhere in your body, wherever you got hurt. So for example, if someone literally stabbed you in the back in a past lifetime, you'll a lot of times feel the energy of like a triggered emotion, like back here in between your shoulder blades, as an example, right? So, okay, so this lifetime, you develop this belief that you are unworthy of love. Okay, well, you are a divine, badass spiritual being. So you come back in another lifetime to resolve that wounding and integrate it. I don't like the word heal because heal suggests there's something wrong, and there's nothing wrong here. What the truth is that these feelings, we call them our shadow side, right? And it's because they're uncomfortable. We don't like to feel them, so we tend to make them wrong and shove them down. And all they really want is to see the light of day. All they really want is to be known, witnessed, loved, or even if you can't love it, accepted, right? So with all of that, now you come back in this lifetime and perhaps you're 5 years old and your father abandons you. And now what just happened? That old wounding of I am not worthy of a man's love has been reinforced, right? But now you're 5 and you don't know how to deal with that deep pain of abandonment. So you shove it back down from whence it came, wherever in the body that wounding happened. And you, in your 5-year-old best way you know how, develop coping strategies to keep that feeling at bay because you have to get on with your life and there's no adult there that like is really understanding what you're moving through to help you process this emotion. So you do your best, you shove it down and you move on with life. Well, what happens? You're in your 20s, you have a string of terrible relationships, you're calling in all the wrong guys, they constantly leave you, and now you're like, your karmic theme for this lifetime, for example, is, man, I can't hold on to a relationship. Like, what's wrong with me? Everybody else seems to be in love and seems to be happy, and I can't figure this out. So let's just say you are dating this guy, he cheats on you, and then he breaks up with you, and now you are spiraling. You are triggered. You are like in so much pain, right? Here's where you use the karmic integration process. Okay, I don't care what your trigger is. If you are feeling anything less than the sparkly spiritual being than you actually are, there's a karmic wound at play, and it is for you. And when you use this process, it completely changes the game so that you can see what it is and take its medicine. Now, in shamanism, any medicine is anything that heals us spiritually, right? And remember, heals, not my favorite word, but anything that helps us spiritually. So there's always medicine inside of what's coming up for us, and it's for us. So here's what happens. Let's just say Kate has just been cheated on and broken up with by Tom. She is a mess. And she's just like, oh, Tom did this to me. I can't believe this happened to me again. Oh, Tom. Okay. This is her cue to pull out this worksheet. It's a cheat sheet that I put together for you. It's a 10-step process that draws on anything I've ever learned about how to come back to center when you're triggered, when your emotions are up, when something is going on, so that you can heal that thing once and for all. So the first thing Kate's gonna do, this is step number 1 in the karmic integration process, is she's gonna drop the story. Okay, the story in her head is Tom did this to me. Tom abandoned me. Tom, oh, what's wrong with me? Tom, oh, I can't get anything right. Like, so her mind is spinning and it's making it worse and worse and worse. And the mind loves to do this, loves to grab onto that emotion and make up stories about it. And then the emotion perpetuates and it's just on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And you're like lost in the virtual reality game and you forget it's a game you chose to come play. It's so seductive. So the dragons have you by the whatever, the ass. So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna drop the story. You're gonna, okay, I'm not gonna make up the story about this anymore. I'm gonna recognize that Tom is the messenger and I'm gonna get the message. All right, Tom, you're off the hook for a minute. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna come right back in here. Okay, step number 2, recognizing there's a fear dragon at play. Okay, this is actually not about Tom at all. This is about an innate fear. What am I really afraid of here? I'm afraid that I'm not worthy of love, or I'm afraid what other people think of me not being in a relationship, or whatever your fear is. And again, you can use this on anything, your boss, your mother-in-law, abandonment issues, abundance issues, like you name it, you're afraid, you're burdened, you're whatever, you can use this process. So number 2 is just recognizing the fear dragons at play, because when you see it, it takes the power out of it right there. And remember that you don't even necessarily have to be able to name the fear dragon. In this case, I would call it self-deprecation. It was the self-deprecation fear dragon that's got Kate. However, if you can name it, great. If not, it's enough to just say, I see you, dragon. Quiet in the back. We'll look at this in a minute. I just know now that this really isn't about Tom at all. This is actually my own fear that goes far beyond Tom, back to my childhood, my abandonment issues, which actually originated in past lifetimes. Okay, karma. This is karmic wounding, okay? We choose to come here and work through these lessons because that's how we grow as souls. So now step number 3, you've dropped the story, you recognize there's a fear dragon at play. Now you scan the body and you feel, where do I feel this in the body? So let's just say, in using our example of Kate and Tom, Kate, it's a relationship issue, right? Where does she feel it? Probably right here. Oh, right? Or if it's more about her power, she might even be feeling it like in her tummy, like nauseous. Sometimes you'll feel it in your throat, or you'll feel it on your shoulders, your jaw, tension here. You could feel it anywhere in the body. Know that when you identify in this, every time you are triggered, every time you have an emotion at play, I guarantee once you drop the story, you will be able to feel the felt sense of that disturbed emotion in your body. There is where the wounding is blocked, where the karma is stuck, where the trauma has been encapsulated energetically as a self-preservation mechanism. And now that we've found it, we can work with it. Okay, so let's just say in this example, Kate's feeling it in her heart and she's going to drop it and she's going to feel it. Oh, it's like tight and it's hot and it's tense and it's painful, right? So anyway, you can, if you want to describe the felt sense of the emotion with some words, totally fine. If not, just feel it. Just feel it. You'll feel the felt sense and you're like, oh, fuck, this is uncomfortable. But here's the thing, it's not wrong. It is not wrong. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Can you do hard things? Yes. Can you hold a little bit of discomfort? Yes. The only thing we really fear is our own emotions. What if we don't make them wrong and we understand they have medicine for us and that they're just energy in motion, emotion, right? They're just energy in motion. There's nothing wrong here. So, okay, so now Kate has felt where she's feeling it in the body, okay? Now what's she gonna do? She's gonna give it 90 seconds of space and breath. That's all that's needed here. 90 seconds, not thinking about Tom, not thinking about the fear, not thinking about the story. Oh, this is my life. Oh my God, I'm never gonna get this right. None of that, and she's just gonna feel. And she's going to give it so much space and so much breath and so much allowing, because this emotion has been hidden in the closet for her entire life. She's been afraid of it. She's been running from it. She's doing all these coping mechanisms in life trying to avoid it. But what's it doing is it's drawing to her the exact situation that she needs to see that it's there. This is like spirit working for her. Kate, there's something here for you to look at and love and work with. Go inside. And so she's just going to be like a beast space holder for her emotion and just let it rise, rise, rise. Let this felt sense rise. There's nothing wrong here. Breathe into it. Let it see the light. Let it see the light of day. She's not trying to release it, because notice, if you're trying to release an emotion, right there is the inference that there's something wrong that you have to get rid of. You're not trying to release it. You are finally getting neutral with your own emotions and saying, hey, it's okay if it is, it's okay if it isn't. Oh, I can feel this. I am capable of feeling this. And there's nothing wrong here, right? And it's just energy and motion. I'm gonna do that for 90 seconds. That's all that's needed to allow an emotion to process for good. For good. If we did that every time we got triggered as a child, we would never have any unintegrated wounding. We would never have all this shit that we have, all these stories and like all the, the themes in our life. If we just gave it 90 seconds of total space, allowing, and breath without attaching a story to it. But here's the good news. As an adult, you can still go back and rework it using this process. Okay, so then number 5 is that she is going to go back and ask her inner child what she really needs to hear. What did she not hear when she was 5 and daddy left, right? She probably needed to hear, oh, baby girl, you are so precious. You are so loved, cherished, adored, perfect just the way you are. Come here, sweet one. It's okay. Come out of the closet. I've got you. Let me hold you. Let me love you. Let me tell you how worthy you are, how supported, how safe. Come here, sweet one. It's okay, right? Or whatever. So you inquire what your inner child needs to hear, and then you give it to her or him. All right. And then next, you've effectively completed. At this point, now you're just going to call in your allies to take care of it for you, because it doesn't necessarily mean that the emotion is gone at this point. You still might be feeling it, but you're integrating it. You're not just running away from it. You're not making up stories about it. So now at this point, you're going to call in your guardian angel, your ascended masters that you work with, your allies, if you have a spirit animal, if you have guides, angels, light beings, whatever. Even if you don't know who your team in spirit is, you can just say, my divine counsel, come in and help me. Or Mother Earth, come hold me while I hold my little girl or boy, right? So you're going to call in support in the unseen, and then you're going to officially hand it over. And you're going to say, this is yours. Universe, spirit, whatever. You're just going to golden key it, hand it over, surrender it, release it. Now, you're not necessarily, again, trying to get rid of the feeling. You're just saying, I'm done trying to make sense of this, run away from this, whatever. This feeling is here and I'm going to allow it. I've given it the attention that it needs. And then you are going to celebrate. You're going to celebrate because what you just did is you integrated a layer of your karmic wounding. And not only did you do it for you, you did it for anyone who's ever felt that way, ever. Anyone who's ever had their heart broken, anyone who's ever dealt with abandonment issues, because we're all one. When one of us heals, we all heal. So thank you for doing that work. Celebrate. You know what? You actually get to celebrate Tom. Tom, thank you. Thank you for how you just showed up for me, how I called you in, how you were the messenger so that I could get the message that my little girl needed to hear something she didn't hear when she was 5. And that, oh, this emotion, there's nothing wrong here. I just get to allow it. And then it's not stuck there, continuing to draw things in to show me that it's there. Boom, magic. Okay, next, you're going to do the next right action. Now, the next right action is going to be something physical, immediate, and mindless. So it'll be something like clean your house, go for a walk, take a nap, take a shower, take a bath, go to the gym, whatever, right? It's going to just be immediate, and you're just going to be in your body, and you're going to be doing something that's just like gets you present in the moment. And then the next one, number 9, is know that this will pass, okay? This emotion is energy and motion. It will move through you. There is a cycle and a season for everything. As it continues to present itself until it does pass, you're not looking for it to pass, remember, you just know that it will. You keep allowing it. You keep not making it wrong. You say to yourself, it's okay if you're there, it's okay if you're not. It's okay if it is, it's okay if it isn't. That is the ultimate letting go. That's what letting go really is, when you can actually get to a place of neutrality with your discomfort. Doesn't mean you're comfortable, but you're comfortable with the discomfort. You're neutral with the discomfort. It's okay if you are, it's okay if you're not. It's okay if I feel this way, it's okay if I don't. That is power. Finally, number 10 is simply be at peace with the chaos. Know that you will receive your next inspired action as you stay neutral with the emotion that's rolling through. Once you get to neutral with the emotion, again, doesn't necessarily mean you're not triggered, but you're not triggered by being triggered, right? Then you are going to be given the next inspired action that will be a win-win-win for all parties involved. And it will be a response instead of a reaction. Now, a reaction creates more karma. You're like taking your shit and you're splattering it all over everybody else. A response is what happens when you integrate your own wounding. You get neutral and you're like, I actually I feel into the next inspired action here, which might be to call Tom and say, babe, thank you. Thank you for bringing this to me. I learned so much about what was actually there for me. I understand I might have been really needy in that relationship, and I just want to thank you for all the ways that you opened me up, and I bless you for it, and I wish you nothing but the best. That right there, if that's the next inspired action, it may be, it may not be, it may be to get a restraining order on Tom. I don't know, only you will know. However, when you can really get neutral with that karmic contract, you've released a soul contract that has had you had to learn this lesson, and now you and Tom are both free to be in your power. You've given him his power back, but more importantly, you've taken yours back. There's no more courting there. There's no more codependence. You're free, and so is he. It's really, really powerful stuff. And now you don't have to get born into another lifetime where you're attracting another version of Tom born as your father in the next lifetime or whatever, to prove out this story of unworthiness one more time. You're going to be free. And you can use this process as many times as you need. The work is really never done, because once it's done, we're no longer incarnating on the physical earth plane. We came here to learn the lessons and be in relationship school, right? And so relationships are the classrooms of life. I don't even necessarily mean love relationships, all of the relationships, our relationship with money, whatever. This is the classroom of life. Once we're done learning, then we move on, right? And we become the spirit guides or whatever. We're our multidimensional selves. And life gets more and more fun the freer you are of the illusion of the earthly drama. And this process frees you from it, because remember, you're dropping the messenger and you're getting the message, which is the medicine that helps you to remember who you really are as a spiritual being and what you came here to do, which is master these karmas so that you can just be free to enjoy life and be human and play in the meantime, and know that every time you do this process, one more layer of karma has been integrated, one less circumstance you need to draw to your life to prove out that karma. Life gets really fun then. So with all of that, I know this was a lengthy video. Thank you for sticking around with me this long. Yes, I have created a cheat sheet for you called the 10 steps to the Karmic Integration Process. I just lovingly call it the process. So with that, you're going to want to go to steffyfunk.com/karmic, or check below this video for a link, or in the bio above, depending on where you're watching. And with that, enjoy the process. I will see you very soon. Happy eclipse.